Hello, my name is Craig Ross, and today we have something special. We're going to look at how easy it is to take orders online via a mobile device and on the phone and have that information automatically pushed to Salesforce. Here's our plan for today. First, we will place an online order at our demo store called First Fairway so that you get a sense of what an optimized shopping experience should look like. Next, we'll have a look at the same store on my iPhone to give you a taste of the mobile experience. After that, we'll look at what happens when customers call you and want to place a phone order. After we place our orders, we'll have them pushed to Salesforce so you can get a sense of how merchants handle customer service and account management. Salesforce is a brilliant platform and a leader in CRM, but they don't have a native mechanism for transactions. By the time we are done, you'll have a great understanding of how Nexternal bridges this gap. I also want to mention that I'll be moving fast as I get excited about this topic, so if you have any questions, please type them in the webinar interface. We'll have time at the end to go through them. So on that note, let's take a look. And at First Fairway, for all practical purposes, could be your website. We are not in the Nexternal platform yet, but we use this to demonstrate that you can take customers from your website into an online store just about any way you want. You go directly to a storefront, right to specific categories, specific products, into specific search results. So we're going to place a fast order, and so we'll start with accessories. So from this point forward, everything we're going to look at is Nexternal. Now, if you're not familiar with Nexternal, one thing that really sets us apart right from the very beginning is that the look and feel and branding of the store is completely customizable and integrated into the website. So a customer has the experience of going to, in this case, First Fairway and shopping at First Fairway. Even though we've gone from their website into the Nexternal platform, First Fairway's top navigation is here intact. Its left navigation, unused background, footer information. So a completely seamless integrated shopping experience. Customers do not have the experience of going to your website and then ending up in some sort of template. Now that I'm here, maybe I want to buy a British Open towel. It's on sale, so it's even better. Simply click the Add to Cart button as you would expect. And I can see that fly right into my always on-screen shopping cart. I love the always on-screen shopping cart with Nexternal because not only maybe do I want this product, but you know what, I could use some teas as well. So I click Add to Cart for that. And now I have two products in my cart, and I've done that with only 2 clicks. I never have to click View Cart like you still have to on most other systems. I never have to click Continue Shopping like you have to on most other systems. I never have to click Recalculate if I want to buy multiples of a product. So it's just a great shopping experience. And if it's a great experience, I'm more likely to complete my transaction. Not only that, this provides several marketing opportunities. For example, it's very common these days to have a tiered incentive in your online store where, for example, spend, in this case, $75 and get free ground shipping. Lots of places do that online, but with Nexternal, you can strongly incentivize your customer by having a dynamic message. Wait, I'm only $30, in this case, 1 cent away from free shipping. Of course I want free shipping, and I could probably use another towel. And so now I've hit that threshold, that messaging goes away. So as a marketer, not only does this cart make it easier for customers to shop, it gives me a great way to try to upsell my customers and get them to that next level. A few other things I want to show you in the store, and some of this will be important as we go into Salesforce, is maybe more, let's look at some more complicated products. For example, this Nike Sphere Dry Polo. So as you'd expect for something like a shirt, it comes in different sizes and different colors. You can even have a really nice swatch gallery here, no programming required. Maybe, for example, let's get a white shirt so my kids can make it real dirty real fast. And so even by clicking on this, it will change my attribute selection. So it's just, again, a real simple shopping experience. A lot of systems will have this type of process in place now, but this isn't tied to your attribute selection. So then the customer knows they picked white, but they end up getting black, and they're upset. The merchants, well, you never actually picked white, at least not here, you didn't. And so all those issues go away with Nexternal. Attributes are tied together. Again, we really focus on a optimized shopping experience. It's also worth knowing in Nexternal, from a shopping perspective, customers can ship to their shelf or they can have multiple ship tos on a single order. So for example, our clients in the gift industry where I'm placing one order, but it's going to multiple places. For example, this shirt's going to me, this shirt's going to my brother, this shirt's going to my mom, all in one order. That's really simple. So that's great, especially around the holidays. And if you do B2B type sales where your customers have multiple locations, it makes their shopping experience so much easier. They don't have to come to your store and place 10 different orders. They place one order and they specify which items go to which location on a single order. The other option that we also allow for is for pickup. Order online and pick up at one of our retail locations. So if you have retail locations, this is awesome. It really starts blending online transactions and retail transactions, traditional retail transactions into one. So really the blending of e-commerce and traditional commerce into just now what's commerce. Again, our system makes that very simple. Social media integration is here as well. Social media is something that's, as you can imagine, quite important these days. So tell a friend functionality, Twitter functionality, Google Plus functionality, Pinterest, it's all here. Plus my favorite, which is called Facebook Like and Save. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I see Facebook all over the place. Every website I go to has a like button. That's true, but we take it a step further, where we developed a technology called Like and Save. And as far as I know, nobody has copied us yet. And what this does is it allows you to incentivize your customers to like your products. In this case, like this product and get a $2 sharing discount. Well, if I'm a customer, I was probably going to buy this to start with. Now you're giving me an extra discount. Yeah, I'll definitely buy it now. Plus, now all of my friends see that I like this product. That's a great shopping experience for the customer. They get a nice incentive. And for you as a marketer, you can now have lots of links from Facebook pointing to your online store. So it's a great tool. Additionally, on the product level, you can have as much content as you want. Plus, this content area, this is populated by what we call the long description field, fully HTML formattable. So, for example, you have product video that you want to embed here. It's really simple. And video, in my opinion, is going to be one of the next, actually already is, I would argue, becoming the next great opportunity for online marketers. Demonstration videos, commercials, video testimonials, what have you. Can have them right here, presents a great shopping experience. Customer reviews are built in, FAQs are built in. So again, you can really have a tremendous shopping experience for your customers, and Nexternal makes this simple. Final few things I want to show you shopping-wise. For example, we click on clubs. Categories can have as many subcategories as you need, and those can have subcategories. So again, you want to make it easy for customers to find what they're looking for. What I want to point out here is that every category has a description field. In this case, we have a nice graphic telling our customers about these Titleist irons that are now in stock. Your customers might not have even known these irons were on the market yet, but you have them, they're in stock, and you're really articulating this to your clients. So every marketer, every online sales company always thinks about, well, what categories do my products live in? But the really good ones think about, now that somebody's within a category, how do I market to them? What do I want them to know? What do I want them to do? What do I need to educate them on? Again, Nexternal makes that very simple with the category description field. Final thing I want to show you, because this will also have implications in Salesforce, is let's look at this Callaway iron set, for example. Products can be highly configurable in Nexternal. So for example, maybe I don't want a steel version, I want to upgrade to graphite. And when I make that selection, my price changes. And so I can have what we call SKU-based pricing, where depending on what somebody picks for the product, the price can change. So what's great about this is, one, it's a simple shopping experience. Two, I'm able to upsell the customer to graphite right here within the product. I don't need to go to a separate product to do so. So that's also very simple. So now that we have our products picked out, we're going to check out. And at this point in Nexternal, as a marketer, you just get one more crack, if you will, at your customers, one more shot at them with what we call the related product upsell overlay. While that's a mouthful, what it does is it allows me to suggest products to them based off of the other products in their cart. In this case, wow, these guys really do know me. They understand I lose golf balls all the time. and these Calawaves are on sale. Yeah, I could use some. I can add them to cart right from here. I don't even need to go to that product detail page. So now that we're completely done shopping, and now the customer sold me a towel that they otherwise wouldn't have and a set of golf balls they otherwise wouldn't have, we're going to check out, and we're going to log in as returning customer just to save me some typing. System will recognize us. At this point, I can still pick or change my shipping if I haven't thought about this yet. Granted, in our case, we already knew we got free shipping, so we'll leave it at that. I can pick a preferred delivery date if the merchant wants me to. For example, they sell perishable food products, and I want this to show up for a specific event I'm having. That functionality is built in. In this case, I'm going to pay by credit card. I can provide comments to the merchant if they're interested in them. And in Nexternal, I can even have a legal disclaimer, which can have an I agree checkbox. So if I sell wine, for example, I might need to articulate specific legal information about the customer being 21. Or if I'm selling digital products, hey, once you buy this, you can't get a return because it's downloading right away. You know, that type of thing. I can have whatever type of messaging I need here. And again, I can have an I agree checkbox. In this case, we're done shopping, so we're going to submit our order. And once we do so, the system will thank us, and it's going to automatically send us a confirmation email, and it's going to allow us to share our order as well in social media channels if we want. So that's the shopping experience of a customer being on their computer or even on a tablet device, going to your store, placing an order. Nice, clean, and simple and easy. Plus, as a marketer, you have a wealth of tools available to you to really reach those customers and hopefully get them to purchase more. So that's the experience on, we'll call this the desktop experience to kind of meld those all into one. Now, in this day and age, you might be thinking that's great, but you know, lots of people shop on their mobile devices, and that's only going to increase going forward. And yes, we completely agree with you on that one. So let's look at that same store on my iPhone. So in this case, where I already have it in the golf apparel category we looked at, this is the same exact First Fairway store, but included with Nexternal is the mobile version. So a customer on a mobile device will automatically be brought to your mobile store. Now, this is a super optimized experience for a small touchscreen device. But for example, I click on that Sphere Dry Polo that we looked at. Even though I'm on my phone, it's all here. My attributes are here, my social media integration, my video, reviews, questions. It's just really, really simple on a device like this. Plus, with Nexternal, we optimize mobile all the way through the checkout process. A lot of systems will talk about how they're wonderful with mobile, and their product catalog was pretty good, but once you start checking out, they try to force their standard checkout experience onto a small screen like this, and it just does not work well. They'll tell you, oh, it's responsive design, it's wonderful, but it really breaks down. It does not work. It's difficult for people to use on a device like this. We optimize all the way through the checkout experience. So I'll save you the seeing what going through all the screens, but as you can see, it's fully optimized for mobile. So now that we've looked at those two experiences, let's look at the third transaction experience. Somebody calls you on the phone. So let's assume somebody calls up and they want to place an order. As a phone operator, I'd have my order management system open, and so now we're in the Nexternal backend. And so I simply click the new button at the top of the order screen. And let's assume the customer calls up. So now once I do that, I'm brought to the store, but it's a simplified internal version. So this is for your phone operators. So for example, let's assume the customer calls up and they want to buy a British Open towel. Phone operator, I click on this. I add it to the cart in a sense on their behalf. And now I can even have an internal memo that management has set up for me. You know, be sure to tell the customer about this promotion we're having, or be sure the customer understands that they have to launder this towel properly, etc. So you can build in basically logic to help your phone operators and guide them on what to do and say next. So let's assume the customer says, no, thank you to the promotion. I just want the towel. Then we check out. We can still use this overlay concept in the internal store as well. Sir, would you like some teas? They're only $10 and people love them. Yeah, you know what? I could use some more. Why not? So we'll add those as well. And now we're gonna ask the person on the phone, have you bought with us in the past, sir? Yes, I have. My last name is Rossi. And your first name, sir? It's Mark. And so I can look up the customer very simply. And I still can change shipping, etc. And then I can submit an order for them. And so that's what the phone order process looks like. So for example, when we're done, maybe you want to call USA Today and order a back issue, maybe from your birthday, that type of thing. This is exactly how they take those orders. So Nexternal is great for e-commerce orders, mobile orders, phone orders. We really want to be the one platform for all of your orders to flow into. So now that we have our orders, we're going to process them. And so then we can look at what happens in Salesforce. Now, some of our clients have an option. Most of our clients like to have their orders flow into Salesforce after they've been processed in Nexternal, so that once it's in Salesforce, it truly is a one and closed opportunity. Having said that, some of our clients prefer when the orders come into Salesforce, into Nexternal, they go to Salesforce first, and then they use Salesforce to trigger off their processing processes. So you have either choice. For our demo's sake, we're going to look at what happens after we process them in Nexternal first. So we're going to click on our batch process button so we can deal with this all in one shot. So we're going to process our orders, and what this is doing is it's going to do our credit card processing and create our shipping labels for both of those orders. And it just takes a few seconds to get all the information from the gateway provider and from, in this case, FedEx, but it's done. So our orders are processed. So processing an external, really simple, whether it's, in this case, 2 orders or hundreds, it literally can just take a few minutes. Now that my orders are processed, let's look at Salesforce. So once we go into our Salesforce, first thing we're going to see is an external tab. So with the Nexternal e-commerce connector, it's going to pull those orders into Salesforce, as we've been talking about. Now, the way our clients typically work is they'll have automatic updates on. So every hour, Nexternal and Salesforce are going to communicate, and the newest orders from Nexternal get pushed to Salesforce. But since you probably don't want to just be sitting here waiting for the next cycle to run, we're simply going to click Update Now. And we can see that it's working. It's pulling over the 2 new opportunities, the products ordered, the accounts, and now our orders are all up to date. So let's look at that. First thing we're going to do is go to our opportunities. And so 102,608 and 102,609, these are the orders that we just placed. This one was the one that we placed on the online store, and this Mark Rossi was our internal order. So let's look at these. So if I click on the opportunity name in Salesforce, all the data you could possibly need is here. It's a closed won opportunity, as we've already talked about. I can see it was placed online via the internet. I can see the total amount. I can see the details. For example, if there's any tax or discounting would show up here. I can see the account associated with this, in this case, Nexternal. I can see the specific products the customer purchased. Now, on the products, the one thing you might notice is that every line item has its own ship to address and its own tracking number. So you might be thinking, well, why are the tracking numbers here, not in the tracking object that Salesforce provides? Because not everything might fit in one box, and or not every line item might go to the same address. So we've taken care of that in a very elegant way. So all of that information's here. You don't lose the fact that different packages are going to different locations or that they have different tracking numbers. Additionally, as you would expect, we have the contact, the person who actually placed the order, and of course the account that they're associated with. So all this information's here, and it's all tied together so that you can really start doing some awesome things in Salesforce. So for example, we know this order was placed, lives to the account name Nexternal, so let's look at that. And then within Nexternal, we could see all the orders placed from that company, and we can see who placed them. In this case, it's Josh Ross. If we click on that name, then this contact is associated with the account in Nexternal. All the address information, etc. is here. The orders placed are here. So everything is here. So it's all tied together and it's really slick. A couple other things to mention is if we go back to our opportunities, not only do we have this opportunity information, as I alluded to before, we can also get a sense of how it was placed. So in this case, we know that Mark's order was a phone order. And so whether the customer is a phone order or online order, it's all going to be here, and I can see the method. So if I understand that, hey, Mark's been placing all these phone orders, and wow, it'd be a lot more efficient for us and for him if he just started ordering online, I can see this, and now I can reach out to him and maybe give him a coupon for his first online order and incentivize him properly. The other thing I want to mention is products. So Salesforce has a products tab, products object, and you do have to use a version of Salesforce that supports the product object for this to be able to work, given that you're selling products. And what's great about this is that this information will flow automatically. You don't have to have your products in Nexternal and then create them in Salesforce as well. If you simply think about, especially if you're starting from scratch from an e-commerce perspective, I've got my product information in Nexternal. When those orders are placed, those product objects get created automatically in Salesforce. So this can save you a lot of time. You do not need to manage products in both places, assuming you do not want to. So that's Salesforce. Now you might be thinking, this looks really simple. How do I hook these up? How do I get this connector? Very simple. If we go to the Salesforce App Exchange, you can simply search for Nexternal, and here we are. Get it now. It'll load, and you install it in your Salesforce account, and you can start configuring it, and you're on your way. Now, the final thing I want to show you before we get to some questions is that Nexternal takes mobile very seriously, and Salesforce does as well. So not only, of course, can you have access to Salesforce on your desktop, but you can on your phone as well. So for example, we launch our Salesforce app, and our accounts are here. Our contacts are all here. Our opportunities are here. So in particular, if you have salespeople out in the field, they can be taking orders using this device, a mobile phone. They can be placing even internal orders that way, and then they can see all their information in Salesforce as well, right from an iPhone. Super powerful stuff. So we've gone very fast, but that's the Salesforce, and that's how Nexternal works with Salesforce. So I'd like to take a few minutes and open this up to some questions. Now, the GoToWebinar interface for questions isn't great, so please do your asking, and I'll do the best I can. Let's have a look here. Question about existing customers. If you have an existing customer, will it merge like Outlook email? Yes, it will. So if you have an existing customer already in Salesforce, and then that customer places an order, they will merge on an email address. So that's the key that we use. After that, they're also going to have an external account number associated with them that we can match on as well, so that if they update their profile in Nexternal, that will flow into Salesforce. Question about pricing. As you can imagine, I was anticipating that question. So if we go to our pricing page, we can see exactly how this works. So most of our clients elect for what we call pay as you succeed, which you can see on the screen. And how it works is we only charge by usage. The way we determine usage is by sales that go through the system. So the highest it'll be in a given month is 3%, and it goes down to 0.5% depending on sales volume. So the more you sell, you're in a sense rewarded with a smaller and smaller percentage. It'd be pretty awesome if the credit card companies did the same thing. So real simple, in a sense you only pay for what you use. This allows us to work with clients of all shapes and sizes. So some of our clients are smaller entrepreneurial companies. Other people using Nexternal are companies like Hershey, Hanes, Taser, etc. So clients of all shapes and sizes have access to what we would argue is the best e-commerce platform available. Question about inventory. Nexternal has inventory tracking built into it. So assuming you want to track inventory in Nexternal, that's very simple. In fact, let me show you. So if we go to the settings section, not only do you turn on inventory tracking, but you can control how it works. For example, what happens when you get to zero? If you manage that simply outside of something else, you'd want to update Nexternal via XML so that it knows. But at a minimum, you'd also want Nexternal to have that information. So, for example, you do not have a scenario of people buying stuff that you don't actually have. So here's where you turn on inventory control. Here's where you can set warning levels and depletion statuses, that type of thing. And then as you'd expect, every product and every attribute within a product has its own inventory field. Question about, is there a way to track new potential customers who have not bought anything yet? Yes, External makes this information available to you in two ways. One, if I go to the customer section, I can search for people in the advanced search area. I can basically search for show me customers, so people have profile information, so we know who they are, who do not have any orders associated with them yet. So yes, you can absolutely do that. Additionally, via XML, we have basically a saved cart tool. So I can query via XML, show me everybody who's got stuff in their cart but hasn't yet checked out. And maybe I want to leverage that data. And there's some apps in our app marketplace that can leverage that type of data. Question about product images. Yes, product images do get stored in Nexternal as well. Nexternal, everything needs to be secure, especially when somebody starts checking out. So yes, those images do need to live in, while you could potentially put them in Salesforce, they absolutely need to live in Nexternal from the shopping experience perspective. Couple other questions that I want to get to. One is that I actually came prepared with is, what happens if you have custom objects and triggers in Salesforce? How do I change the behavior of the connector? I would argue that's a great question since, of course, I brought it with me. And in that case, if you go to our Salesforce page, we have a link at the bottom for our configuration guide. And so this guide will give you specific information on how you set up the connector, what happens during an import, etc. And it provides all sorts of information on customizing how the connector works, like custom mapping and that type of thing. So yes, we provide all this information. If you need to do custom mapping, that becomes the client's responsibility. Or as you know, there's a massive ecosystem of Salesforce partners who'd be happy to help you out, and we can put you in touch with them if necessary. The final two questions I want to get to are, and then we can wrap this up. What do I do about products that have attributes? You mentioned that, at least alluded to it during the demo before. Also a great question. If we go back to Salesforce, Salesforce has obviously a product object, but they do not, unless they've done something in the past few days that I'm unaware of, they do not have the concept of attributes like an online merchant would have. For example, a shirt that comes in different sizes and different colors. So with our connector, we in a sense allow you to pick how you want that to work. For example, if you sell shirts that come in different sizes and different colors, you want those all to be one product in Salesforce, in which case you know somebody bought the shirt, but you wouldn't necessarily know what size and color they bought in the shirt if you were simply looking in Salesforce. Or each of those could be its own product within Salesforce. So if you have a shirt that comes in 3 sizes and 10 colors, there'd be 30 different products within Salesforce for that. So as a merchant, that's your decision. If you sell configurable products like that golf club we looked at where, hey, the graphite costs more, I'm probably going to want those to be separate products in Salesforce. It'll make what I see in Salesforce much more accurate. And the final question, which is a good one that I want to get to, and before I let you all go, is can I push data from Salesforce to Nexternal? Yes. Our Salesforce connector natively is a one-way push of data from Nexternal to Salesforce. And if you go to our website, we have a little graphic which kind of demonstrates this, what from Nexternal goes to what objects within Salesforce. Having said that, many of our clients will push data from Salesforce back to Nexternal. For example, I do subscription management, and so I need to hit my customers for their next subscription billing cycle, or I take orders within Salesforce, and I need those orders to get created in Nexternal. That's not a problem. What that requires is that you use our XML tool set, and let me just pull that up real fast. So with our XML tool set, we basically allow you to touch Nexternal in all sorts of different ways. There's 10 different XML tools so that Nexternal can integrate with other systems. And basically what I've just described is leveraging what we call the order create tool, where you're going to initiate an action in Salesforce, which is going to push a request to create an order in Nexternal. So this also requires technical talent to pull that off. And just as I mentioned before, we can put you in touch with Salesforce integration partners who can help you with this if this is the kind of requirement you have, yet you do not have those skills in-house. So you've been a very captive audience, and I hope that I really articulated and show you how easy it is for Nexternal and Salesforce to work together. The integration really is simple to implement. It's easy to use. I think it's really powerful. And frankly, I think it's pretty awesome. If you have any questions about anything we looked at, please do not hesitate to give your account executive a call. If you are currently evaluating Nexternal and are not yet working with someone, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I would really look forward to talking with you. Thanks for joining us today.